but I cordially dislike allegory in all its manifestations, and always have done so since I grew old and aware enough to detect its presence. I much prefer history, true or feigned, with its varied applicability to the thought and experience of the readers. Welcome to the channel. Just wanted to talk with you a little bit about some things I've been learning as I go through this journey of Tolkien. You may have seen on the main channel, it's part 2 of King of the Golden Hall. It's about Aragorn marrying Eowyn, and that was the original thought that Tolkien had, the original plan. And so you can see here, these are all the history of Middle-earth. Have all of them, but you can probably see here, spines are not cracked. So I have not read all of them yet. So without our good friends, Wayne Hammond and Christina Scull, I never would have figured that out. Or not never, but not in time to do the video on King of the Golden Hall. And with that, it's such a cool thing. I talk about it in the video, so go check that out. But I wanted to talk about like understanding Tolkien and diving in deeper. Now, if you don't care at all, you read it, hey, this is a great book, and you're done with it, that's fine. That's really okay. But what I love doing, and what I know there are a lot of other people that love doing, is reading more about it, reading more about him and understanding what he means by stuff. So for example, what I just read, I cordially dislike allegory. Well, if you've read, I have it down here, Leaf by Niggle. That's an allegory. I don't know any other way to put it. That's an allegory. And there are people that, scholars, I guess you would say, that help you understand what Tolkien's meant when he said, I cordially dislike allegory. And there's a lot of pieces to this, but Holly Ordway, Tolkien's modern reading, only about halfway through, but this is a phenomenal book. But it talks about who Tolkien is and how he responds to things. He's a little bit hyperbolic and contrarian at times. And I don't remember where I even heard this from, but so hearing he's hyperbolic and contrarian, he's like, I dislike allegory. But the thing is right before he says that, he's talking about World War II and all this stuff. So he's really talking about is the ring is not the atomic bomb, like that kind of thing. But we have to understand it's the context. And this one's really cool because Professor Ordway guides us through a bunch of things that he read and how it influenced his writing. There are parallels to some writers authors I've never heard of because they're from the early 1900s, late 1800s, how they influenced, and he did things like that. And I never would have known that. And that's okay. If you don't care, that's fine. Again, that's totally cool. But it also, thinking about things like that also brought me back to a conversation I had with a friend, I don't know, 3 years ago, something like that. We were talking about Lord of the Rings. And so he said it was just about friendship and, friendship. And then said that, who cares about reading any other books about what Tolkien, all the books about the book. Well, again, I mean, if that's how you want to do it, that's fine. But there's books like this. There's books like this one. I got Tolkien and the Great War here, author of the century. What is this? Creator of Middle-earth, the biography, the letters, the nature, Secret Vice. Why we love Middle-earth? This one's great too. Prancing Pony Podcast, guys. This is a good one too. All those things tell us more about who he is and help us actually understand what he's saying. And I have yet to actually get through this one yet. There's just so many other ones I'm reading. This is massive too. It's not just about friendship. It's not just about the obvious thing that he wrote about right here. There's allusions to things he loved. Beowulf, William Morris, all this stuff. There's allusions to things he wrote or to things he read. And there's allusions to things he wrote. In this, he writes a lot about what's in here, but we don't know that. Well, I guess had you only read Lord of the Rings, we wouldn't have known that until Christopher published all that extra stuff for us. And that's amazing. Thank you, Christopher, for doing that. But what he says, so it's not allegory. He wrote allegory. He doesn't like being compared to allegory when it's not allegory. That's what it is. And he doesn't like bad allegory. But he also says, I prefer history, true or feigned, with its varied applicability to the thought and experience of readers. So lots of people get lots of different things from his books. And for me, it became a much more powerful book to read. Not just more enjoyable. It was more enjoyable. It is more enjoyable every time I read it. But more powerful when I learned that pity isn't simply something that happens once or twice when Bilbo or Frodo pity Gollum, or when Sam pities Gollum, or when other people pity other people. It's not just about throwing in Glorfindel and character from the Silmarillion that we, essentially, or first-time readers would have known nothing about. But it's about death and deathlessness. Fall of Numenor, which is here somewhere. Oh, right here. Why did Numenor fall? Because they desired deathlessness. They were scared of death. Why were the Ringwraiths what they were? Because they desired power. Why is Scouring of the Shire the best chapter in the whole book? Because they were heroes and they came back to somewhere that didn't understand what they did, didn't really recognize them as heroes, but they came back changed. Frodo, more so and more deeply and inherently than anyone else. Frodo had to go and get healing. He didn't just, I did the thing and I came back and life is great. It's not a happily ever after. It's never after. But now that I know all of these things and see these different themes that Tolkien put into this amazing, amazing book that I'm talking about here for Lord knows how long and how many videos on the main channel, it's really crazy. It's impressive. And if you're interested, Holly Ordway also has Tolkien's spiritual biography, which it gets deeper and more concrete things, or talks about deeper and more concrete things, and gives us another, even more deeper understanding of Tolkien and even what he was writing, because he said it was unconscious. It was unconsciously a Christian work. So that's really what I wanted to talk about. Is I encourage you, if you can, go to the library, see what of these books they have. Unfinished Tales, so they have pity, power in Tolkien's Ring, or the Libby app that lets you get to your Kindle or your e-reader from your library. If you love Lord of the Rings, you love The Hobbit, I think that you will love it more and more and more if you not only just keep reading it, because you'll just discover new things, and read it out loud. That's something I discovered too. There's beautiful alliteration and all sorts of stuff. But read books kind of by and about Tolkien and who he was, and you'll see more themes. You'll learn more just about life and who you are based on just how you react to the themes and things that Tolkien put into his work. That's all. Hope this was a useful video for you. Feel free to like and subscribe, and always remember, Aude and Tulva, day shall come again.